Bokuto. Shit talk back. Still alive. Yeah, sometime yesterday I was talking about Nancy. They had Nancy in the abortion, area of what I was talking about, dealing still with Aleister Crowley and Kinsey syndrome. Now, as soon as I go in there, it says it's feminine and it's a proper name, but probably a pet form of Nancy, See? And that's what got me to Pat. And Pat was there. It was a Pat experience. So we are now experiencing the Pat experience, which is Nancy. And Nancy is actually a derivative of this, which is Agnes. Okay? And Agnes, if you look at the word Agnes in Middle English, it is Ines. You see? Now, there's an adjective meaning this word right here. It has something to do with a man, It's funny too. It has minute and 8 with reference to men. So, of course, I go and look up something else. See? Because it said it has something to do with a man. So now I know when you say the name Nancy, Nancy means, you see, Miss Nancy and Nancy boy. So the name Nancy came about. It was not even a girl's name, although it is a feminine. They say it's feminine, but it was not even a girl's name. It is a boy's name. When a man, so like you say sissy or faggot or gay or homosexual and you are relating to a man, you can call that motherfucker Nancy from now on. I am so glad Frankie J did not name me Nancy. Because if I had found out my name was Nancy right now today and knowing that the Nancy came about because some man wanted to be a woman, see, even a man homosexual from 1904. Because, this is when all this stuff really started coming out. Because, Aleister Crowley was not around. Aleister Crowley was around in those days. And so, I was not born in 1904. I was not born to 54 years later. Okay. Wow, that was quick math. Whoa. Anyway. So I was not born, but he was. So now I am born in 1958, right? And there are people who are gay. Some people you don't see. Maybe some people are gay. They don't want you to know, whatever. But there are gay people in my time. Just not everywhere. So they are Nancy. So you can say Nancy boy. Effeminate male homosexual is attested by 1958. So they go from 1904 is Miss Nancy. In 1904, Miss Nancy, but still homosexual. 54 years later, which is the 9 heads. I saw that damn 9 somewhere too. What other 9 heads? Nancy boy. By the time I was born, they had already came out with Nancy boy. You see? Because they were already fucking the children and everything. Now, I want to get back here. No. It is probably a pet form. And remember, Nancy is a pet form of Nancy, which they do get in your panties. You know what I'm saying? So, when you go to Agnes, then you will go to Enos. And when you look up Hamite in here, you will see it's Ham's name. I think it's Ham's name. Or it says A-G-A-N, something but it's similar to this, just does not, it has more words, more letters. And also here, when you see this A, this G, and this N, make sure you see 3, 5, 35. This is your life. We are also still dealing with abortion, still dealing with the AIDS virus, and still dealing with Kinsey syndrome, and the list really. I have not stopped dealing with these things. They go on and on and on. However, among the top 10 popular names for girls born in the United States between 1935 and 1955, right? So 1935, as I said, that's the year my Abba was born. But it is also an 8, which is life. It's also wisdom, knowledge, and then this wisdom, knowledge, and comprehension of the elect. It's not saying, oh, you are elected to do this. You are elected. No, nobody vote, nobody know. It's way deeper than that. It has something to do with yourself also when you're dealing with your own life. And 1955. Okay? 5 and 5 is 10. That means something is complete. So, as I play the games with my brothers, then I have to say what has been completed in 1955. Well, and I can't go to the scriptures on it, okay? Well, I can speak of the scriptures. I'm not going to go there to show it to you. You can find it. But it says between 1935, okay, and 55 is complete. So something now has been completed. In 1555, my people from Kenya, they brought them over here. Some of my folk were already here. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. So my folk was already here, but they went to Kenya. Not like they wasn't going to Kenya before. They were. But in 1555, they went to Kenya. And they brought my folk over here as slaves. Man, I can see it as though I'm there now. Anyways, so 400 years later, so it's written in that book, I read it even as a child, that after when the 400 years is up, they are supposed to free us. That was in 1955. I don't know about you. I can only talk about my lineage. I don't know anything about your lineage. Maybe your people have never been slaves. Maybe you were Moors who had slaves. Maybe you were Moors who did not have slaves. Maybe you were Moors who wanted to help. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your lineage is your lineage. My lineage, Kenya. That was after Israel. In Israel, we went to Kenya. They came in 1955, a very peaceful place. We don't know anything about their motherfucking asses. Actually, we really do not. And they came to invade. They did not come for peace or anything. It's like they just jump out of bushes. I don't want to talk about it because it's like I can still see it, like I am still there. So anyway, I was born again. Yeah. And it says 1955. It's 400 years from 1555, and I am supposed to be free, right? So that's 400 years. And 3 years later, I am born, 1958. And then they show my birthday too. So they are telling me something. Nancy Boy in 1958 is what? Attested at NASA. Some bullshit going on. I tested it in 1958. So now I'm born 3 years after we are free. Okay? So that means Frankie J was a bond woman when she was born because it was not yet 400 years. Okay? But I was born 3 years after, which means I am born of the promise, and they know that. See? And it is in Galatians 4:2-3. These numbers, they mean something too. But for me, I don't know what they would mean for you. I just know what they mean for me. Okay? It says, but he, which could be she or he, you know that, right? Who was of the bondwoman, Frankie J, was born in bondage. She was not born. She was born before 1955. I was born 3 years after. The bondwoman I'm so excited. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh. See, I am of the bondwoman. I was born after, but they put the flesh here. You see? Because I guess I am in the flesh. But, oh, I see. But he of the free woman was by promise. Okay? See, I don't want to play that game. I just want to tell you what the fuck is going on here, okay? But he who was of the bondwoman, Frankie J is of the bondwoman. She is born in 1920, 1930, something like that, right? So it is not quite 1955. 400 years is not up. She is a bondwoman, okay? Me, however, I was born 3 years after she became the free woman. And that promise is given to me. After the 400 years are up, I am supposed to be free. And I am still being held 56 years. But 3 years before I was even born. So it's 59 years. They have still hold us in slavery. But then they want to write a stupid motherfucking book about someone that does not exist today or all that other bullshit. How stupid that nigga was to go with pink people any fucking way. Because they feel this goddamn hit up. Oh, you're the best lion, land, this and that. That is a targeted thing to do to you, to target you, to give you a big hit. And now you become a slave for 12 years? No. No. We have been a slave, I know for a fact, for 59 years. And they owe me for my 59 fucking years. Because their book is their fucking book. They did not want me to know this shit. They don't have a fucking book called the Bible. And I would not know. There's a promise. And you owe me so much. Because you held me in bondage all my life. And then you owe me the 3 years before I was even born. You nasty bastard. Then have the God to put the year 1958 in here. And I don't know how many times I have told these motherfuckers, leave me out that shit. And this here is so funny to me. Because I said, I am an underling. And right under Nancy boy, and I just said that this morning. And right under Nancy boy, it's weakling. And then they say ling right here, plus ling. Ling is a loan. So you have this on a loan. When you are earthly, you are on a loan. If you are, especially if you are an earthly and you have a certificate of birth, you are definitely as a loan to your own self. They are loaning you out to yourself because they own you. The Queen of England, she owns you. Translated of Luther, some. Okay, this kind of gay-ass man from German. You should have known that. What the fuck do you think? He's a German. What the fuck do you expect? Male who submits his body to unnatural lewdness. Yeah, that's in the scripture too. Talk about that nigga being unlewd and shit. But anyways, what the fuck? So that's maybe why I said Nancy was so fucking ugly. Because Nancy is a man. There's so many men on the internet you do not know if they are men or women. And you can see a picture. You can see a picture. You will have to see them in real life. You see a picture of a female, and that female is has a neighbor that looks as though it is a female, It could be a female, but it may not be one. Because pictures are also tricksters. They can trick you in pictures. Today they have all these amps in the phone. These fat ass girls. Some of them I know. But when you look at their pictures, it's like, whoa. How did they do that? And then my daughter told me, oh, Ema, there are apps in your phone where you can do this and do that. I said, why don't they just waist train? If you waist train, you don't have to do that. You know? It does not matter really how big you are. If you have your silhouette, you have the silhouette or whatever it's called, you know, that hourglass shape, that is the beginning of your road to success in helping your body to waist train. Does not only help your body to train your waist to be thin again and to put the fat where it goes. It also helps you to breathe, and you can breathe out a lot of the chemicals that are in your body, kind of like breathing out like a tree breathes out, you know? Yeah. So it helps, and it also helps in the directed energy, as the directed energy is trying to make you fat. My grandbabies found an article that was talking about how many people would be fat in the year. I think they said 2017. I'm not for sure, you know. I don't remember. But they were talking about that article a while back. One of my grandbabies found that article. And I remember when my daughter came in with an article and it said by the year 2000, I think they say 90% of the females will be gay. And my daughter read that article and I asked her, how do they know? Unless they are doing something to make it so. By the year 2000, 90% of females were gay. And then I found out years later, they are doing something. Like, well,